YouTube, my name is Jake Asman. Welcome in to my channel. I appreciate all of you for watching this video. It is Sunday, just after 5 o'clock on the East Coast, and here is the first instant reaction video to the first Jets game of the season. Before we get into that, though, I do ask that you please subscribe to the channel right down below so I can continue to grow this page and continue to produce daily Jets video content, previews, recaps, which we're about to do right here. You also can interact with me on Twitter at Jake Asman and Instagram at Jake Asman. I live tweet my thoughts during every Jet game. A lot of emotions watching this one, so if you follow me on Twitter, in addition to subscribing, look forward to interacting with all of you. All right, I got a lot of thoughts on this game. As, of course, by now you know, the Jets lose to the Panthers 19-14 in the season opener. Let me start with this. I am very, very frustrated with this game. I was screaming in the first half in agony watching some of the things that unfolded. You could hear in this video my voice is shot right now. But I come away from this game after having a chance to breathe, really encouraged with the young quarterback, Zach Wilson. I thought Zach Wilson, given the circumstances in this game, he played really well. I thought it was an impressive debut, given the fact his team was absolutely horrendous up front protecting him. And that, to me, is the storyline of the game. The Jets' offensive line did not give Zach Wilson a chance, but overall, I thought the fact that he went out there and showed the toughness that he did, I left really encouraged. Let's start with Zach Wilson, then we'll get to some of the other storylines from this game. Look, the Jets lost, but in the second half, Zach Wilson went out there and basically did all he could to bring this team back in the game. I thought, considering the mess in front of him, considering the fact he ends up getting sacked 6 times, but basically hit thousands of other times, it felt like every drop back, for him to go out there and finish 20 of 37, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick, I was very encouraged by that. I liked his performance a lot. There were some rookie mistakes. The interception he threw was bad. We know that's going to happen, though, right? I mean, rookies throw picks, but there were some plays in this game that just wowed you. Some of the plays he made to Corey Davis, the first touchdown pass on the run, the dart, that was excellent. Like, you can't teach the arm talent and the accuracy that Zach Wilson possesses, and he showcased it on that play to Davis for the Jets' first score of the season. Late in the game, trying to get him back into it. Same thing, rolling out, finding Davis. That was incredible. I mean, his accuracy was really, really good, and he showcased a bunch of excellent, excellent throws. Even the throw he made to Elijah Moore in the first quarter. Now, Moore dropped it, but that was a special, special throw. So I think if you're a Jet fan and you watch Zach Wilson today objectively, yeah, he looked like a rookie at times, but for a debut, I was very encouraged. So I hate losing. Like, I wanted the Jets to win this game so badly. It'd be nice to get off to a good start, but I'm encouraged by the play of the quarterback, given the fact that he had nothing to work with up front. And that's where we go to next. This offensive line has to get it together. Now, as I'm recording this video, there's no update yet on Mekhi Becton, so I hope he's okay. But even when Mekhi was out there, he looked terrible. And, of course, typical Jet fan, you can't even enjoy the first touchdown of the season the way we normally would because Mekhi gets hurt on that play as AVT basically gets bullied into a Panther defender who rolls up on Mekhi Becton. So I hope Mekhi's okay. Obviously, if he's out long, that is a brutal blow for this team. This team is already without Carl Lawson, arguably their best player on defense. If you lose Mekhi, you can make the case you lose your best player on offense, besides, of course, you know, this Zach Wilson, who we're all hopeful for. So that was very difficult to stomach. The offensive line has to get better. I mean, period. It has to get better. Zach Wilson showed toughness, he showed poise, but he's not going to last the entire season if this line stays as pathetic as it was in this game. It was, excuse my French, garbage. It was horrendous. It was hell on earth watching. Zach does not have a chance throughout a 17-game season if they don't protect him. Now, how do they protect Wilson better? Maybe it's different play calling. Maybe it's more play action. Maybe it's quicker passes. I thought in the second half, LaFleur did a better job calling the game than he did in the first half. But there needs to be some serious adjustments made by the Jets entering week 2 against the Patriots next week, because this line was god-awful. I don't know how else to say it. It was pathetic. Wilson's going to get killed out there if he does not have better pass protection. It's as simple as that. Overall, though, second half, the Jets looked a lot better. I thought the defense overall played pretty well. Like, if you remove the one play to Robbie Anderson, and of course, Sam hits Robbie, and everyone's going crazy, LOL Jets. If you take that play out, and you can't take it out because it's the play of, the Panthers offense on the day. But the Jets defense was fine. They played well enough to win this game. If the offensive line protected Zach Wilson, I think the Jets win this game. Like that's not just me as a Jet fan saying that. Like the Panthers scored 19 points. There was nothing Sam Darnold did that was that impressive. Sorry to try and ruin the narrative. Oh, the Jets made the mistake moving on from Sam. Look, I like Sam. I'm not rooting against Sam, but let's pour some cold water over the idiots that think Sam Darnold played his ass off against the Jets. Sam Darnold was Sam Darnold today, right? There was some good. There was some bad. The goal line fumble was horrendous from Sam. I mean, you look at his numbers. He was fine. 24 of 35, 279 yards, and threw a touchdown. I'm happy for Sam. Good for him. I wish him well the rest of the way. But look at Christian McCaffrey's stat line. 9 catches for 89 yards. If you take out the Christian McCaffrey stat line, Sam was very pedestrian statistically. And if you watched, every Jet fan could tell you, yeah, that was kind of Sam Darnold today. Sam Darnold was Sam Darnold. There was some good. There was some bad. He hit Robbie Anderson, who was wide open. There were also some plays where you're like, yep, well, that's Sam Darnold right there. He was bad in the red zone. He wasn't great on third down. Ultimately, I thought the Jets defense played well. I came away very impressed with the following players. C.J. Mosley looked awesome. Was flying all over the field. The Jets defense gave them a chance to get back into this game. I have no real issues with the D. They made that one poor play with Robbie Anderson. Christian McCaffrey's going to do that too. Basically every team. I mean, they gave the Jets a chance. John Franklin Myers, I thought, was excellent, played well. I thought Guidry in the slot corner spot played pretty well. Overall, I think if you're a Jet fan, you got to be encouraged with this defensive performance. I think you should come away feeling pretty good about this team outside of also the first drive of the year, of the season, really. They didn't commit a whole lot of dumb penalties. Like the Jets to me were fine in a lot of areas today. The concern is the O-line because it was garbage. But like the idea that, oh, well, Sam Darnold torched the Jets today, that's not what happened. Sam made a nice throw to Robbie Anderson, who was wide open. And then other than that, yeah, Christian McCaffrey made some chunk plays, right? 9 catches, almost 100 yards on the ground. He went out there, 21 carries, 98 yards. Like, Christian McCaffrey is the best player on the field. That's why if you play fantasy football, he's the first pick in pretty much all your leagues. Like, Sam was Sam. I don't want to deal with a week of, oh, look what Sam did against his old team. I'm happy for Sam, but Sam Darnold was not the reason why the Panthers won this game today. The reason why the Panthers won is because the Jets' offensive line was garbage. The Jets' offensive line sucked. I don't know how else I could say it, but I was so disappointed with what we saw. Now you hope Mekhi Becton's okay. Now, if I'm going to get on this coaching staff for something, I for the life of me, I did not understand why it was George Fant starting at right tackle over Morgan Moses. Play Moses at right tackle, and so be it. Now, if Becton's out long term, and who knows what the status with him will be, you're going to have to play Fant at right tackle, Morgan Moses at left. So, look, this offensive line better get better in a hurry. They better leave a running back in for pass protection. On one of these plays, Ty Johnson missed a wide open block and almost got Zach Wilson killed. I mean, on the one play before the Jet touchdown, the whiplash that Wilson suffered when he hit his head, that was really concerning. I mean, you're thinking concussion right away. I saw part of Wilson's press conference after the game, and he said he was a little woozy, a little whiplash. I can't speak. My voice is shot from yelling at this shitty Jets offensive line. Excuse my language. So Wilson said he felt like he got hit by like a truck or a bus, I think was his term after the game. So, I mean, look, overall, this quarterback played well. Like that to me is what I'm going to choose to focus in on because I didn't have playoff expectations for this Jets team. Zach Wilson today, though, I don't even think the stats do justice to how well I thought he played for a lot of this game. Yeah, there was some questionable throws, right? He probably should have got picked off a second time along the far sideline on one of his throws, tried to force it in there. But that's what a rookie's going to do. But 20 of 37, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, man, that all came basically in the second half when he had a little more time to make some plays. And when he didn't, he tried to make plays with his legs. There were a couple plays where obviously you'd like to see Zach maybe throw the ball away and avoid some of the sacks. But, I mean, he got sacked 6 times and he got hit on basically every other drop back. So, overall, thumbs up to Zach Wilson. Impressive debut. Thumbs up to basically the Jets defense for most of the afternoon. There's going to be plays where their secondary gets torched. That's what happens when you have youth and lack of experience in there. But overall, I mean, The Jets could have easily won this game. It's a shame their offensive line was as bad as it was. That you lost by 5 points. And by the way, if you listened to the show earlier in the week when the Jets were 5.5-point dogs, I said take the Jets with the points. I bet on the Jets. Guess what? I made money on the Jets at least losing this game because they covered the spread. So, it was going to be a close game one way or another. Sam Darnold did not even play that great. He was fine. He was Sam Darnold, right? There was some good. There was some bad. I don't want to shit all over Sam Darnold. I don't want to crap all over Sam because I like Sam and I want him to do well. But I'm sorry. If the Jets' offensive line protected Zach Wilson, they probably win this game. And the storyline is not Sam Darnold's revenge against the Jets. Like, give me a break with that BS. If you watch this game, that's not what happened at all. So with that being said, I haven't seen any of the comments that people have written in since I started ranting 10 minutes ago. So I'm going to look through those right now, and I'm going to see what we got here. If you got any questions or any comments or takeaways from the game, throw them in the chat right now. We'll get to some of those here as we wrap up, and then I'm going to go watch and watch some football here. I see, okay, Malcolm Harper writes, Ian Rappaport says the initial diagnosis for Becton is a sprained MCL. That's positive news. That's good. I'm happy to hear that. I hope that is certainly the case. They need Mekhi Becton to go out there, and they need him to go out there and, play better than he did today. Look, losing Mekhi sucks, but it's not like Mekhi was playing well either, to be fair. I mean, everyone on this offensive line was anemic today. Awful. The Moore drop was huge. Yes, early on, the Moore drop was a big play in the game that, could have maybe swung momentum for the Jets had Moore came up with that. Look, I'll look at the positive, though, on that play. I thought Wilson made a beautiful, beautiful play on that throw to Moore. Why was Ty Johnson not involved until the team was down 3 scores? Larry, excellent point. You could use Ty Johnson more in some passing downs. I think the Jets got to reevaluate how they come out and start next week, because clearly when they went more up-tempo and they made some adjustments, they look like a better team. If you want another positive, the Jets made a lot of halftime adjustments. They were noticeable, and they look like a better team. So, I mean, you want to win this game. I'm not going to, make excuses for the Jets. They could have easily won this game if they were better up front, but they need to reevaluate maybe how they go out and attack teams at the beginning of games, because they came out lethargic. They came out not sharp, and they came out like a team that was playing a lot of young players, and they didn't give Zach Wilson a chance, especially early on in this game. Zach played well despite what he was facing. Sam would have never did this had the roles been reversed. I think it's an excellent point. If Sam Darnold was in the shoes of Zach Wilson, he would have been terrible. Oh, wait, Sam was in the shoes of Zach Wilson last year, and it was the same thing. The difference in today's game is the Jets don't have Christian McCaffrey. If we want to be real here, that was really the difference in this game. The Panthers scored 19 points despite the fact Christian McCaffrey accounted for basically 200 all-purpose yards. He almost had 100 rushing yards, and he almost had 100 receiving yards. He was the difference in this game. The Jets don't have Christian McCaffrey. Carolina does. There was nothing that Carolina did that wowed me, right? That made me go, oh, my goodness, wow, what a team. Give them credit for winning, but they also have a quarterback in his 4th year that didn't exactly do that much to destroy the Jets here. So another one, Becton appeared to have suffered an MCL sprain. That's good. I hope that is the case. Bart Scott said zone scheme takes away from big O-line guys' advantage. Yeah, look, LaFleur said over the summer that he's confident in Becton, confident in the guys learning the scheme, but it's going to take some time. Another guy I want to give credit to, by the way, I would love to give credit here to Matt Amendola. Now, he didn't have a kick, right? He didn't have a field goal. He didn't have an extra point because the Jets went for it after both their scores. Amendola, though, did an excellent job punting. Like, you could not have asked for a better performance by a kicker having to be subbed into punt for a guy in Braden Mann who was actually very good as a rookie last year. So there's no doubt about that. Zach outplayed Sam, has a stronger, more accurate arm. Yeah, I mean, we could debate the semantics of this, right? All Sam had statistically a better game. Sam was checking it down to Christian McCaffrey. The more impressive performance, and I don't really care, Panthers fans, come at me, whatever. Zach Wilson was better than Sam Darnold today. Sam Darnold's in year 4, fumbling at the goal line, missing open guys. Zach Wilson is running for his life to have to make plays. The plays that Wilson made were infinitely more difficult than any of the plays that Sam Darnold made. And I hate to make the Zach versus Sam, but I have to push back against those. I see the ESPN.com headline is, Darnold gets revenge against the Jets. That's not what happened here today, man. Zach Wilson was good with a terrible, terrible offensive line around him. That's just the reality here. I thought Zach Wilson went out there and, given the circumstances, played a hell of a game. The toughness he showed, especially after the whiplash sack late in the 4th quarter when the Jets were trying to get back into it. I mean, that's the intangible stuff that you can't teach. Zach Wilson today went out there and he looked good. 20 of 37 doesn't do him justice. 2 touchdowns. I mean, average yards per play. He was around 7, which is good. I thought he played well. Christian McCaffrey inflates the numbers for Sam Darnold. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. Why did Jeff Smith and Berrios get reps over Mims? Jason, I'm glad you brought this up. I had this in my notes from the game. I didn't mention it here. Yeah, Denzel Mims needs to be on the field. I'm sorry. Now I am excited that that it looks like Jamison Crowder will be back next week, and he's going to be integral in this offense. I thought Braxton Berrios did a solid job with his opportunities, but Mims needs to be on the field more. There's no doubt about that. Mims needs to be on the field. We saw when he was out there, he made a huge play, right? I mean, Denzel Mims was out there for how many reps? And he goes out there and has arguably the Jets' longest play of the day. In fact, it was their longest play of the day. 1 catch, 40 yards. That was longer than Corey Davis's 35-yard reception. Denzel Mims needs to be out there. There's no doubt about that. I would like to see, more Mims. I think he's a player for this team. If they don't love his route running, then put him in positions where he could be successful out there in the field. Play 3 cornerbacks. Don't keep switching them. You can play the hot hand. Play who makes sense. I honestly, though, I didn't think the Jets' corners were a problem today. Yeah, the Anderson play was rough, but the Jets' defense allowed 19 points. You should win a lot of football games in the NFL in a pass-first league when you're only allowing 19 points. I come away encouraged with the defense overall. I don't know how you could. I come away encouraged with the adjustments they made in the second half. I highlighted some key players at the beginning here. I thought John Franklin Myers looked awesome. C.J. Mosley looked great. I thought Guidry flashed some potential in the secondary. Marcus May made a couple nice plays. The defense played well enough to win this game. You allow 19 points in the NFL. That should be enough to win. Unfortunately for the Jets, their offensive line was garbage. Their offensive line was terrible. Terrible. Wilson was 2 for 10 at one point. We played soft D second half, bro. That's not what happened at all. You guys were coming after Zach Wilson on every play, and he was making plays because he's better than Sam Darnold. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I respect the Panthers as a team. I respect their defense. They have a good defense, but the Jets' offensive line cannot be a sieve like that. They should not be this bad. There's no way. They got to make protection adjustments, and they got to be better. Zach Wilson was better than Sam Darnold today. I don't care what the numbers say. Anyone who's objective that watched the game, the eye test would tell you that. But the Jets lost the game, so good for the Panthers. They're 1-0. Congratulations. To me, it's about Zach Wilson's development this year and just the fact that if you want to win games, like I'm not going to poo-poo the idea that the Jets are 0-1. You want to win games. This was a winnable game, and the Jets didn't do enough to win because they didn't protect Zach Wilson. They protected him. I think they win this game. I really do. And just some of the throws, man. I was talking about this in my Jet fan group chat. The throws that Wilson made on the run, some of them where he's just like the casual drop back and just throwing darts. Like the noticeable arm talent that Wilson has, you can't teach. I mean, really, the Jets did a nice job defensively in the second half, giving Wilson a chance to try and get them back in this game because this looked like this was headed towards a blowout. If Sam is quarterbacking the Jets, this would have been a blowout. They wouldn't have scored because he wouldn't have been able to adjust to the poor protection. I thought Wilson did a really good job battling here. I thought he did a nice job keeping the Jets in the game, giving them a chance, and ultimately, you feel like this was a impressive debut given the circumstances. I see Jet Forever is getting on the floor here. Questionable calls, yes. There's only so much an OC could do if his offensive line is as bad as it was. That's the reality. Look, I would like to see some more creativity. I would like to see the Jets do some more offensively to fix the issues they have up front. They're going to have to if they're going to have any chance to win some games this year. I will give LaFleur a mulligan. I want to see more in the second half from him. I thought he did a little better. I didn't like the one play call where early they went for it on 4th and 1 and you just ran it up the middle. Like that to me was lame. First game, though, he's a rookie OC. He needs some more time. I thought the offense was obviously much better in the second half after the just brutal start. I see Eddie here makes a good point. Revenge game. Revenge for what? What did the Jets do to Sam? They traded him to a better team. It's a fair point. They traded Sam to a better team. They traded Sam to a team that has Christian McCaffrey. I've gone for 19 minutes right now. If I really wanted to break down this game, I could simply say this. One team had Christian McCaffrey. The other team didn't. The Panthers scored 19 points. 19 points. And Christian McCaffrey had 89 receiving yards, and he went out there and had 98 rushing yards. He was the difference in the game. I mean, if Christian McCaffrey wasn't on the field today, the Jets probably win this game as bad as their O-line was. So that kind of just puts in perspective how important it is to get great players on offense. I need to see more from Elijah Moore next week. Another positive, I highlighted Corey Davis briefly earlier. Let's be real here. Corey Davis looked every bit like a number one wide receiver. He made a lot of big-time plays, contested catches, got open, off schedule when the play broke down. That was really good to see. So I'm bummed out they lost this game. I am. This is like therapy for me to be able to vent and interact with, passionate Jet fans here on the YouTube channel. But, man, that connection was good to see from Corey Davis early on. So yeah, there's no doubt about that. Darnold showed me nothing. So there's that. Backstreet's back. All right. I actually interviewed the Backstreet Boys at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and they could not have been nicer on a side note. Darnold still showed me nothing. I don't want to rip on Sam. I like Sam, but I'm sorry. Sam Darnold really didn't do anything today that made me go, wow, he looks like a different player. He didn't. I like Sam, but Sam Darnold's numbers were fine. He was 24-35, 279, and 1 touchdown. How many of those plays were just check downs to Christian McCaffrey, right? Like Sam was fine. I mean, the turnover he had at the goal line was typical Sam. He had a couple plays where the Jets could have come up with an interception. He had a nice play where he had the rushing touchdown. I mean, Sam showed some good and he showed some bad. I saw nothing today from Sam Darnold, who's in his 4th year now, that makes me say, yep, the Jets are definitely going to regret moving on from him. Like, he's on a better team. He's on a better team. He did what he was supposed to do. There was nothing I saw that makes me go, man, what a mistake by the Jets. That's not what happened today. If anyone wants to make this game about that, you didn't watch the game or you're just trying to make fun of the Jets because you could always pick on the Jets, right? I think that changes this year. Now, the offensive line, you could pick on all you want. They were garbage. They were absolutely terrible. They were horrendous. With a better O-line, I think the Jets win today. But, I mean, that's got to get better. This is a young team. That's got to get better. But I come away from this game, if we want to end on a positive note here, Jet fans, I come away from this game feeling really good about the play of Zach Wilson. I thought it was a tale of two halves. The Jets were they were the better team, period, in the second half. But the Jets as a team were light years better than they were in the first half. I mean, they were horrendous in the first half offensively. The defense showed some warts, but overall, I mean, considering Zach Wilson started 2 of 10, and considering he was sacked 6 total times and hit basically on every other play on plays where he wasn't sacked, considering a couple of the key drops the Jets had, the one to Moore stands out, Corey Davis, as well as he played, had a drop. Like, considering all that, for Zach Wilson to go out there and throw for 258 and 2 touchdowns, I think you got to feel good about his performance, man. I really do. I'm encouraged. I want to see more going forward. But I think if you're a Jet fan and you don't come away from this game feeling like Zach Wilson showed a lot with not a whole lot in front of him protecting him, I think you got to, I think you got to readjust expectations. Like I thought the Jets went out there and they did exactly what they had to do defensively. I didn't think Sam was great. He was fine. McCaffrey was the difference in this game, and unfortunately, it wasn't enough because of how poor the offensive line was. I'm sure there's some things I missed, so please comment your thoughts after this video in the comment section. I'll have more videos throughout the week talking about Zach Wilson, looking ahead to the Patriots game and all that. But thanks to all of you who took time on a football Sunday to watch this post game. Please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below, like this video, subscribe to the to the page. It helps me grow the channel and continue to produce daily video content. I appreciate all of you. Certainly a tough one today, Jet fans, but if we want to end on the positive, Zach Wilson looked good, and he's only going to get better. But they better protect him. Otherwise, he is not going to survive a full 17-game season. Also, Mo Dean, you might be the biggest idiot on this channel. No one said that the Jets were winning 9 games. I just would like to throw that out as I wrap up here. Good old Mo. Oh, no, you talking heads on YouTube before the season told me 9 wins or more. There's not one rational Jet fan that told you 9 wins, Mo. But I appreciate you watching every video I post. It helps the channel grow. All right, everyone. Have a good one. See you later. Let's go Jets, and I guess let's go. Are we rooting for the Dolphins or the Patriots? I really don't know, but I'm going to go watch that game. See you.